Hello, hello, my friends. It is so good to be back with you once again. It is Wade for the Kingdom Report, here to bring you a little Disneyland Resort update that you deserve. That's right, we're checking in on California Adventure and Disneyland Park here at the place where it all began. Leaving that busy holiday season in the rearview mirror and setting our sights on a very productive 2020. As we enter the Harbor Boulevard side, we are sort of instantly confronted by this curious little A-frame sign that essentially says, hey, if you're looking to ride Rise of the Resistance at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, you should have been here earlier. Yep, it's essentially telling you that you're not getting on because boarding groups are booked out within minutes of the park opening. It's just the way it is right now. You have to have a ticket having already been scanned. You also have to have your Disneyland app at the ready just to kind of win the lotto to get on this ride. Boarding groups are important. You need to be planning well in advance to ensure that if this is something you want to ride, you need to be getting to the park before it even opens now. California Adventure is where we are setting our sights on first. I understand that there is a Lunar New Year celebration going on in here, and that is reflected on the guide map. You'll see Mickey and Minnie in their Lunar New Year best. Yep, they are so festive and ready for the celebration. And Disney will have you believe that it is the year of the mouse. However, it is the year of the rat. So it's their theme park. They can do what they want, but we will be referring to it as the Year of the Mouse here. Just don't be confused. I know everybody else in the world is saying Year of the Rat, but it's Disney's prerogative, so we're going to let them have it. It is a beautiful winter's day here in California. As you can see, heading up Buena Vista Street, this is why we pay a fortune to live here. This is winter. I can't believe it myself. So blessed, so grateful to have this beautiful playground. And here in the Grizzly Peak Airfield area, there's an announcement to make. Yep, that's right. Soarin' Around the World is about to become Soarin' Over California once again. For a limited time, they are bringing back this original classic attraction as it returns for the Food and Wine Festival here at California Adventure. It'll be starting February 28th and rolling all the way through April 21st, as it did last year during the summer months, trying to pull people away from the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge madness that didn't really materialize, but it was great to have Soarin' Over California back. And as a reminder, Kingdom Report Live, you can find us on social media there, and make sure you are subscribed and got that notification bell turned on for all the Disney parks coverage from coast to coast. You don't want to miss a moment of our magic. And as we venture back a little bit further into the Grizzly Peak area, you'll notice that Grizzly River Run is behind construction walls. It says here, Park Beautification Project is now underway, and we're going to take a peek on over just to reveal that, hey, all the water's been drained, and it is that time of year, as we often find that the winter months typically sort of put the water rides out to pasture. It's a great time for most of the work to get done, because who really wants to ride when it's cold? You know, you don't want to get soaked and freeze to death afterwards. So this is a great time for them to be doing this work. Interestingly enough, though, it appears that there is a lot of supplies that were brought in for this rehab, and typically this rehab is just ensuring that things sort of look spick and span. I feel like there's a lot more here than typically we see, and it might be because this refurbishment is listed as sort of an unknown end date. So this might be under the knife a little bit longer than expected, Grizzly River Run. Something to definitely plan for if this is a must-do attraction for you or your family. It is something that might be out of commission for a little longer than expected. They usually try and have the attraction back up and running by spring break to absorb all those crowds, but given the fact that it's listed as unknown, a little strange. Just beyond Grizzly River Run is the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail. This area is restored to its former glory, and what I mean by that is it hasn't been its normal self for quite a while. The Halloween season brought all the villains back here, and this was kind of the epicenter for all things Halloween parties, and then right after that, it became everything Christmas related. Yeah, this was the site of so many Christmas activities, including the place where you could meet Santa, and now this amphitheater just sort of sits empty, and yeah, nothing really going on back here. It's unfortunate. Maybe Russell and Doug, maybe Kevin could come back here and do another little show, do something to pull the crowds back into this corner. And as we venture on through the park, you'll see World of Color show tickets are more available than they have been in recent months. The reason for that is it's the classic show that has returned, and the holiday show, which is obviously a limited run type event, well, that was selling out within, like an hour or so, maybe 2 hours of the park opening. Now, the classic show is back, and you can enjoy yourself some original World of Color without worrying about those show passes being gone so quickly. Lunar New Year time is here, as I had mentioned, and I figure we'll take a spin around Paradise Gardens Park to check out everything that they have going on. It's Lunar New Year time! A simple but important cultural celebration. Lunar New Year continues at California Adventure through February 9th. As we venture on into the Pixar Pier section of the park now, you'll see Inside Out's emotional whirlwind attraction spinning around. This, of course, is the repurposed Flix Flyers attraction from A Bug's Land, and continues to bring in moderate crowds, especially for the kiddos. A great little spinner ride for them. But something that is just sad a little further up the pier is the Pixar Promenade area, this specially designed, specially created area for entertainment. Only had entertainment there for the first summer. And now, as Disney Parks suffers another wave of entertainment cuts, has lost the Pixar Promenade ban. Now, this did happen last year, but it remains vacant. The reason I'm pointing it out is because this whole sort of shell area is just empty. There's nothing going on. It was made specifically for entertainment, and it's just not there. Occasionally they'll have characters come over and sort of meet in front of the area, but other than that, it was built for atmosphere. It was built for atmosphere talent to come in and sort of liven up the space, and now it's just a shell. It really is kind of sad to see what this was built for and how it's not being utilized now. Hopefully, we'll see entertainment return to the Pixar Promenade. We venture on into Cars Land, another space inside California Adventure Park that, well, also gets quite the seasonal overlay during Halloween and then Christmas. So for like 5 months, this area too is different than it is the rest of the year, but now we're back to normal as Tow Mater and his Junkyard Jamboree has just one of their sort of spinner areas under the knife. They are doing some construction on the turntable for that, so it's reduced capacity but still open. And now we're back here at Luigi's Casa de los Tires, and as you can see, lots of scaffolding has gone up just behind the attraction. It looks like it's there to cover something up because I know for a fact there's nothing back there that high. So this is clearly back there to cover something up behind the attraction that's going on. We've heard a lot of different rumors, but nothing confirmed as of yet. But it is interesting, to say the least. You can see here sort of the area that used to connect over into Bugs Land. Well, Avengers Campus is being built right now, and this area seems to be where the microbrewery is going to be. There's a store, there's a Doctor Strange show that's going to be happening, and then also a microbrewery themed to Ant-Man and the Wasp. And so this is sort of that back corner over by Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. But I wanted to move back in front of Cars Land and now on the platform right next to the Blue Sky Cellar, where if we look across to where Bugs Land's entrance used to be, you'll see that the building for the Spider-Man attraction, the web-slinging attraction that is coming to the Avengers Campus this summer, you can see that the majority of the exterior of the building, well, it's pretty much taken care of. It sounds like they started ride testing in there back in October. And now this area is becoming more and more complete. You can start to see sort of the design part of the facade setting in. Now, as we understand it, this whole front building here is supposed to be where the queue and sort of arrival space is, and then a little further back is the old building for It's Tough to Be a Bug. That theater space is going to be utilized mostly for the attraction itself. Now, this other view from on the ground is interesting because you see more protruding there in the middle of the rooftop is that pole that goes directly up. It's sort of a upside down L, if you will. And this is supposedly, based on all the concept art that we've seen, what Spider-Man himself is going to be slinging around on. And if you've seen the video from the Disney Parks blog recently, well, they have a Spider-Man robot that's going to be slinging around on the rooftop, and then the live performer is going to be coming out and chatting with you. So it's going to look like he did all that. It's going to be pretty captivating to see a robot be able to do all of the things Spider-Man can do. Back here on the rear of the park, the exact opposite side of where we just were, is the Hollywoodland section. Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout is back here, and there are walls wrapping all the way around the front of the attraction, and then it spits you out in this pinch point, and you can enter with no problem. So something's going on in the street here, right in front of the attraction, and it makes it look like the ride itself is closed. So keep in mind that it's not, and you can still ride Guardians of the Galaxy. And this, of course, is the backside of the Avengers Campus, where you used to be able to enter via Bugs Land. So Bugs Land had the 3 different ways you could enter and exit. Same thing is going to exist here. So exact opposite side of what Cars Land was when we saw it from that view. Now back over to the front where I was filming Avengers Campus from this platform. This is the Blue Sky Cellar. It's Walt Disney Imagineering's preview center, and I looked over and I saw that the doors were open. You'll see the banner there. It says Blue Sky Cellar presents Pixar Pier. Pixar Pier has been open for a while, and unless there's a special event going on or they're distributing something and they just need the space, this location is obsolete. This whole preview center is about California Adventure's rebirth, and it's been rebirthed for a while now. So I walked in, kind of curious as to why the doors were open. No one was in here. Everything was on. No guests were visiting or taking a look at anything, because all of this stuff has already happened. It's like taking a retrospective look at California Adventure. I don't know what was going on, but like I said, everything was operating as though this was something worth seeing. Very unusual. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments as to why this Blue Sky Cellar is back open. We cross the Esplanade to Disneyland, where we see another sign that warns us that you are not getting on Rise of the Resistance, so stop asking. Should have been here earlier. But the happiest place on Earth awaits, and the original Magic Kingdom is the place we are going. And the guide map does feature Rise of the Resistance, of course, but some of the best of Disneyland is just its charm and atmosphere. And I figure, you know, if you can't get on Rise of the Resistance, why don't we just enjoy some of that charm and atmosphere now? The Straw Hatters of Disneyland here in Town Square. And as we look on at the plaque that Walt Disney himself laid next to the flagpole, we are surrounded by gorgeous flowers of early spring bloom and a shot down Main Street, USA, the way it was meant to be experienced. No giant Christmas tree, no protruding pumpkin in the way. Nope, it's just classic Disneyland. And here in Fantasyland, lots of things are under wraps right now as Disney Parks refurbishment season is clearly underway. You'll see here off to the left that King Arthur Carousel is getting a lot of attention as walls wrap all the way around this centerpiece attraction for the land. Legitimately, it's in the center, but it's getting all the TLC that it needs. King Arthur Carousel goes way back, even beyond Disneyland itself. These carousel horses that many people ride on day to day don't even realize the historical significance of each one of these horses and sort of the detail and stories behind them. Highly suggest, if you have time, check out King Arthur Carousel's history. It might just blow your mind as to the level of detail and history that each one of these horses has. Now, as we venture around the choke point of these construction walls, the Sword in the Stone is over here. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because somebody recently pulled the sword out. Yeah, the chosen one, evidently, pulled the sword out of the stone. It had to be taped up for a couple of days until facilities could get the sword back in, but it's back in now, waiting for the next chosen one. And of course, Snow White's Scary Adventure is under its multi-month rehab, being taken care of. Lots of new technology said to be getting added to this attraction. Very much looking forward to seeing what the end result here will be, as no doubt this classic attraction will get some TLC and some added modern amenities to make it even more special. You see here the top of King Arthur Carousel from a distance. They really have stripped this thing down to its bare bones to make sure that it looks real good upon return. The level of TLC that these attractions get, it's done for a reason. Very important that these historic sort of landmarks within the park get all the attention that they deserve. And now we journey back to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the planet of Batuu, to enjoy ourselves some details on what might be happening with Rise of the Resistance. Of course, another sign warning you before you even reach the attraction that you're not getting on, so don't even ask. We told you. The sign said so. There's no more boarding groups, okay? So once again, being forewarned of what's happening, and of course some directional signage letting you know that Rise of the Resistance is this away. As we arrive to the attraction, well, you'll notice a lot of people standing around and nobody going in. That's because this attraction has had some significant downtime since opening. Multiple times a day, the ride is said to be down. I know firsthand what that's like. As my first experience trying to ride it, I waited 12 hours for my boarding group to be called, and I detail that experience on our Kingdom Report live show from February the 1st. If you want to go check it out, you'll hear all the gritty details as to what happened and how to prepare for this experience overall. And now we jump to light speed from the planet of Batuu over to Narlan Square, where the Haunted Mansion is taking Jack Skellington and all of his Nightmare Before Christmas friends down. And the classic attraction is returning, but it looks to be a little bit more TLC being given to this ride as well, as traditionally it's just a simple takedown, but now you see giant scrims have been erected all the way around to make sure that it has all of the attention and refreshing that it deserves. Will be returning in spring of 2020. You can see the standby wait time for the Haunted Mansion is A. I have no idea why it says A, but it does. And it led to that epic moment for you. You're welcome. As you can see here on the front gates of the attraction, it has some great history attached to where the Haunted Mansion was originally supposed to be. And it says here on Main Street, USA is where you were going to be able to ride the Haunted Mansion, along with a church that was supposed to be on Main Street. It's just amazing to me to think that so much was supposed to have originally been on Main Street, USA, and it all changed. So you see church, graveyard, and haunted house. Yeah, all sort of clustered together. I think that would have been a really cool effect for Main Street had that existed. But we get the Haunted Mansion in Narlands. Now, just across from the mansion gates, you'll see that the Mark Twain is in dry dock mode, getting all of its TLC on. And it looks like they are going in full bore, as we could see here from our vantage point. It appears that lots of woodwork is being done and things are being completely refreshed to make sure that the Mark Twain, the giant wedding cake on the rivers of America, if you will, is going to come back looking greater and more sparkling than ever. This is one of my favorite attractions to do, just because you never really have to wait for it. And as sailing ship Columbia sails by in its place, you'll notice that the Mark Twain is sort of docked over here just off to the side of the Harbor Galley. So if you ever want to get your soup on, you'll notice that the Mark Twain is right next door. Now in Frontierland, dropping by the Golden Horseshoe Saloon, where they have a new dueling piano show. That's right, a big showdown between two piano players. I have stopped by 4 times, and all 4 times I've been told that the show will not go on as scheduled. It'll just be a single piano player. Maybe 5th time will be a charm.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you and welcome to the world famous Golden Horseshoe. If you're here hoping for a showdown. Unfortunately, the stagecoach got stuck today and my partner never arrived. So come back tomorrow and witness a fantastic showdown here inside the Golden Horseshoe. Until then, enjoy your time here in Frontierland.
Oh, come on. A fifth time. Just bring back Laughingstock, will you? Just bring back the people you replaced. If you can't get a second piano player to this park, just forget it. I hear great things about it, I really do, but this is the fifth time, I'm not kidding, and now I have proof that it didn't happen. At any rate, we move on into the future of Tomorrowland, where finally some work is wrapped up on the facade of Star Tours. You notice here that this entire detailed wall is complete. It's shining bright like never before, and obviously a lot of detail needs to go into every single one of those panels for this exterior work, so it's finally wrapped up. And just across from it, over at Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, looks like some work still needs to continue and be finished up on this side. It does appear that the scrims were down this day due to high winds, but definitely some work that needs to be wrapped up. I'd imagine only be a couple more weeks at this point. It's been several months since both of these walls have been under the knife. And we head back further into Tomorrowland, where the exit of Space Mountain and the exit of the Magic Eye Theater are still under wraps. They've got some walls up here. You can still access both of these exits, but it's above this area that's important, because this is the staircase, the emergency exit staircase that goes up from the arrival platform of Space Mountain and can bring you back down to the ground floor. Now, I think I originally mentioned that this was going to be an escalator, and I apologize, that was incorrect information. This is going to be an emergency exit staircase. You see it here from a different angle, and I don't necessarily know what's taking so long for a simple staircase, but building codes being the way they are and California being the way it is, I would imagine that there's probably some setback that we just don't understand. But it'll definitely change the aesthetic of Tomorrowland as soon as it is, well, up and operational, that's for sure. And you'll notice that the 4 lasting FastPass machines here are over tucked away just in front of the Magic Eye Theater, sort of waiting for anyone to use them now that everyone uses MaxPass. And of course, the new marquee waiting to be installed for Onward, the Pixar preview film for Tomorrowland, will be coming very soon. Well, my friends, that about wraps up this Disneyland Resort update. Hopefully you've had as much fun as I have had, even with the setbacks of a dueling piano show gone solo. Oh, the Magic Happens Parade, I'm looking forward to it. It's coming February 28th to this park. You bet we'll be here to cover it. And by the way, if there's ever anything you would like to see, make sure you comment down below, letting us know what it is that you would like from us. Garrett out in Walt Disney World, as well as myself here, will go ahead, take that under advisement, and do our best to get it out for you. And if this content is something you'd like to see more of, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to us with the notification bell turned on so you don't miss our new content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. This has been a great pleasure, and for the Kingdom Report, I'm Wade Heath. We'll see you next time.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.